You can spend an entire lifetime trying to protect yourself from the outside world, without realizing that the first doorway through which your own energy is lost is within you. There are battles that never appear before the eyes. They leave no marks on the skin. They do not show up in any examination, but they can be felt in the mind, in emotions, and in your own inner strength. The feeling of being drained. The feeling of carrying something you cannot explain. Moments when your own consciousness seems to lose its power. And perhaps the most important question is, who is controlling your energy? You, or something within you that you have not yet learned to master? Along the path of inner awakening, there is a profound understanding. The human being is not only matter. There is an invisible dimension formed by thoughts, emotions, inner forces, and energy. And everything that happens within us influences what we manifest outside. That is why, before seeking protection from any external force, there is a first battle, recovering the mastery over your own inner universe. And one of the greatest enemies of this mastery is a silent force: fear. Fear rarely appears showing its true face. It disguises itself as doubt, as insecurity, as a lack of courage. It whispers that you are not ready, that you cannot change, that you should remain exactly where you are. But there is something even deeper. Fear does not only paralyze, it disconnects the being from its own strength. It makes someone forget who they truly are. And when a being forgets its origin, it begins to give its energy to that which should be transformed. That is why true energetic protection begins before any symbol. It begins with awareness. It begins with presence. It begins when you decide to return within. Within ancient initiatic traditions, there are symbols used to represent this return to the center. One of them is the pentagram. For many people, it is only a geometric figure, but its meaning goes far beyond that. The pentagram represents the human being in balance, the union between what exists above and what exists below, between the infinite universe and the universe existing within each person, the macrocosm and the microcosm, because there is a universe around you, but there is also a universe waiting to awaken within you. And this is one of the great keys. True power is not born when we control the external world. It is born when we begin to master what happens inside ourselves. The flaming star represents this connection. It symbolizes the manifestation of higher forces within matter, consciousness bringing light to what was once asleep. It is the moment when the being stops simply reacting to life and begins to consciously participate in its own transformation. This star represents the connection with the higher principles of the being, the connection with the inner Father, the approach to the inner Christ, the connection with the Holy Spirit, not as something distant, but as a reality that needs to awaken within each person. Because many times the human being searches for answers throughout the entire world, but forgets to investigate the place where all answers begin, within themselves. And there is another essential point on this path: energy. Everything in the universe is movement. Everything is force and transformation. And one of the most powerful energies of the human being is sexual energy. It is presented as a creative force, an energy that can simply be consumed through impulses, or it can be directed toward a process of inner transformation. This is the principle of transmutation, transforming an instinctive force into consciousness, transforming impulse into mastery, transforming energy into evolution. Because the one who learns to govern their own energy begins to recover a part of themselves that was once scattered. But there is an even more difficult part of this journey: looking at what is hidden within. Your own patterns, your own limitations, your own shadows. And this is where the law of renunciation emerges. Renunciation does not mean abandoning life. It does not mean rejecting who you are. True renunciation is removing your energy from what prevents your growth. It is stopping the nourishment of what keeps consciousness trapped. Because whatever receives your energy grows, and whatever you stop feeding begins to lose its power. Many times, the greatest obstacle is not an external force. It is found in repeated thoughts, unconscious habits, emotional states that become prisons. That is why the inner path requires courage. Not the courage to fight against the world, but the courage to look within, to recognize, to understand, to transform. Because what is brought into the light can no longer silently control you. And then we arrive at the deepest point of this entire journey. The greatest energetic defense is not only found in symbols, it is not only found in words, it is not only found in practices. The greatest defense is born when the being awakens the presence of what it truly is. I am that I am. When this presence begins to act within you, something changes. Fear loses its space, consciousness regains its strength, old patterns begin to reveal themselves, and what once appeared as a threat begins to reveal itself as an opportunity for transformation. Perhaps the greatest human illusion is believing that the key must be found outside, when in truth, the door has always been within. If this path awakens something inside you, continue walking with the inner multiverse, because some truths do not arrive to give you ready-made answers. They arrive to awaken questions that have been sleeping. And perhaps the most important question is the one that began this journey. Who is controlling your energy? You, or something within you that you have not yet learned to master?